Hello, I'm Sketchy Duval, and today I'm here in my bathtub to baptize myself because my birthday is coming up. Even though I'm not a water sign, I'm an earth sign, I'm a Capricorn, but I've always felt pretty connected to water. I think since Capricorn is like the sea goat, it's like I have mostly a lot of land traits, but I'm also connected to the water. So I'm in my bathtub because my birthday is coming up soon. Last year, I turned 25, and I always seen that as a monumental year. So last year, before my birthday, I made a list of a few goals. I just wanted to check in with those and see how I've done with them, and also give myself a few new goals for 26. Speak up when uncomfortable. My feelings as a response to something are valid. Don't accept something is okay just because they were bold enough to do it. Your reaction is valid. Don't tell yourself you're wrong for feeling a certain way in response to upsetting behavior. Replace social media time with productivity, drawing, reading, chores, go for a walk, literally anything else. And check your negativity. So those were the 4 goals I had set for myself when I turned 25. And honestly, I have made a lot of progress on all of them. The one I struggle with the most is speak up when uncomfortable. This is always a problem for me, or always a struggle for me, because I would rather not say anything and just handle it myself internally, because I know that I can carry the weight. I know I can shoulder it and work through it with no problem. It might annoy me, but ultimately I'd rather just whatever and then distance myself from it than cause a problem. I don't know. Not to get too deep into it, but I do think I've made progress with this. And yeah, the last one I said check your negativity. That's because I noticed myself being very fed up and short-tempered with a lot of things that really didn't warrant that response. Okay, let's calm down. Not everything is that serious. Are you really upset? Come on. So, yeah, check your negativity. I think now I definitely am a lot more easy, breezy, beautiful cover girl. So yeah, ultimately, my goals that I set for myself were very on point with what I actually wanted to do and what I could do, and I actually did it. Not to say that any of them are 100% achieved, but I've made a lot of progress towards these changes that I wanted for myself. So let's cheers to that. So getting into the goals that I set for myself turning 26. This time I made 6 goals. I don't have a number that I want to reach. It's just kind of whatever I think of, whatever springs to mind as something that I can recognize I need to work on. First is express myself more clearly. And this is because I've been feeling I've been kind of struggling to express myself in words. I don't know, I've always had a hard time explaining myself verbally. I'd rather just draw a picture, or I want to be able to just say one word and someone understands the message. Explaining all the nuance in detail verbally is so hard for me. If I have time to think about it and type it out, that's okay. But just trying to verbally express it, especially on the spot, unprompted, if someone asks me a question or if I'm just thinking about it, it's kind of hard, and I want to be able to make myself more understood. Actually, no, it's more the feeling of what I'm saying. I want to be able to express that feeling more clearly for myself. I don't really know if the other person's response is so important, but I really want to feel like I am expressing what I want to say. The next goal on my list is there are other ways to do things. I think a lot of time we get stuck in routines and patterns and traditions that are kind of given to us, and we might not even recognize it. and we might not really question it. Looking back in my life, I can notice a lot of times where I did something my own way, or I wanted to do something my own way, and like other people didn't get it, but it still worked out. And it's like, why is that thing better than my thing, you know? Like, I know it's gonna work. I don't know, this isn't like too deep of a goal, but it's just like, I just kind of want to remind myself there are other ways to do things. And I think with this, what I'm really saying is your intuition can be trusted more than you give it credit for. The way you think to do something might be right for you, even if that's not a way that you've seen expressed before. It might be right for you because you are thinking from your own experiences and abilities and skills with your own tools and skill set in mind. So your intuition of how to do something and what to do might be correct, and you can trust that a little more. The third goal is be more material. And by that, I just mean that I can be very cerebral often in my life. And this is like a deep-rooted part of myself that I know isn't going to change. I just am like a very introspective, cerebral person. A lot of my life has happened up here, but this year I really want to focus on translating what's up here into out, materially, physically, out into the material world, because sometimes I have been a little bit stunted. I do a lot of work up here, so I feel like I've done a lot of hard work. I feel like there should be something coming from it, like there should be a change or an achievement or something paying off, you know, something to show for all the hard work I've done. But with all the hard work being mental, like in my own brain, I haven't actually put that out into the world. Like I haven't actually enacted much change or tangible work, you know? So I need to work on connecting my brain to my hands, I think, or like my brain to my outer world. I don't know. I've always been like that though. Like when I was a kid, I would literally think myself to sleep. Like I would lay in bed at night and just think about my day. I would analyze things I did and said and people's responses to me, things they did and said. If I felt depressed or angry or whatever, I would lay in bed and I would think about it, and I would think, what am I feeling? Where am I feeling it? Why am I feeling this way? What caused it? And then I would like trace it back, and I would get to like the root of it, and I would just do that like every single night. So I've always been very thoughtful and introspective, and I don't want to change that. But now it's like, okay, you've done all that. There has to be like a checkpoint, you know? Like now you can just create from that place and exist in that space, you know? You don't always have to question yourself so much because it's been making you doubt yourself. You have answers. You've sought after these answers. So now it's like, do something with those. Do something with what you found. So yeah, I just really want to like put it into practice. And with that, these are kind of sub goals. One is to create at least one sketchy clothing piece every month. And two is to study Japanese consistently. So I think those are like tangible, productive goals that I can really achieve. So the last goal that I wrote is continue to learn to trust myself. And I think that kind of sums up all of these for 26. I think last year I was still learning a lot of what it meant to be an adult, and I did feel the thing of like your brain solidifying when you turn 25 or whatever. I always thought people were like lying about that, but it is real. Like it's so weird. You can feel the internal difference with your brain being like, okay, so this year I want to continue to learn to trust myself. And I think all of these goals that I came up with are really just about that. And honestly, it's interesting, like looking at my goals for 25, I said your reaction is valid. Don't tell yourself you're wrong for feeling a certain way. And and check your negativity. This year for 26, I wrote express myself more clearly and continue to learn to trust myself. So sometimes I've asked people, do you talk to yourself? And if you do you say you? Like, do you speak in second person or do you speak in first person? Actually, I've always kind of flip-flopped between them, but it depends on the situation. And I think a lot of times I'm kind of like parenting myself, speaking to myself how I learned from my mother, you know, because I'm very similar to her. And a lot of things that she says are things I would say. And so I think when I am speaking to myself through something where I need guidance, I do speak in second person, like saying you to myself. But now, like looking at my goals for 26 and I'm saying myself, maybe I'm still like parenting myself in a way, but it's not external. I'm not having to observe myself. I'm able to like experience myself and also reflect at the same time. And with trusting myself comes being more material, because a lot of the reason that I am so cerebral and that I think so much with no action is because I think and then I overthink and then I think myself out of it. So before anyone else has even had the chance to engage with me, I've already thought my way through the entire situation. And it's also this thing of like, once I've thought about something, it no longer feels new to me. Like once I've had a thought or an idea, it feels contrived or redundant or reductive or something. So then I just stop myself from expressing it. I think maybe I'm realizing that the ideas and thoughts that I have are not what everyone is thinking. And maybe they are unique in some way, or maybe even if they're not unique, there is something that deserves to be expressed because I'm really feeling it and I'm really thinking it. So why am I holding myself back? I thought that other people were judging me the way that I was judging myself. So then I was judging myself harsher because I was like, I don't want to give anyone room to clock, you know? So I'm just going to clock myself, but then I'm going to clock out and just never show up, never engage. What's the point? You have to, because you know you want to do something. So, learning to trust myself. This is definitely the big theme of this year for me, I can tell. I haven't had a session like this in a while, like just a thought explosion session. This is kind of how I would always talk to myself and like think myself to sleep when I was younger, like in high school and stuff. I would talk to myself out loud like this and just go through everything I was thinking and feeling, and it feels so cathartic. I haven't had this in a while because I've just been trying to feel very present and productive, and I've been trying to use up all of my time to just focus on like making something. It feels really nice to give myself a pause and to connect with myself and reflect and also look forward. Yeah, we'll see. We will see about these goals and how this next year goes. I think 25 was really a turning point because I never really knew or like envisioned what would come after. So it kind of scared me. But now, living through it and about to turn 26, I'm like, oh, actually, it's fine. It's actually like good too. So now I feel like I'm kind of able to start anew. Like a period of time came to a close and now I'm entering a new period of time. So we'll see how I do. Thank you for listening. This was really for myself, but I think hopefully it could be relatable or something. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching and for listening. And until next time, goodbye.